Awesome. Hey Arslan, thank you for letting me ask you all the questions that I want to ask. And then my main question is, can you tell me what should I expect from my first interview ever?
So on a first interview, usually it's going to be a technical interview.
Okay.
The companies will try to evaluate your technical skills before they will take you to the next round of the interview. On the technical interview, they will ask whatever you have listed on your resume, saying, let's say I know Java or I know Python. They will ask Java questions and they will ask all other technical questions, like for, let's say, another tools you have listed, REST API, SQL. They will ask those questions, and they might also ask you to write a coding where you will go ahead and share your screen and you will be solving some given task for them, and at the end you will be explaining that task.
Okay, my next question is, how many rounds out there normally you go through to finally land a job?
It really depends on a company. Some companies having a 1-round interview and they just give you a job offer after the 1 round. Some companies having 5 rounds of interview. But the usual number is 3 interviews, where the first one, mostly, again depends on a company, will be a technical interview where they will evaluate your coding skills. Second interview will be an interview with your teammates and other QAs or developers. They will interview you. And the third interview will be mostly with the QA manager or the manager of the company. So they will just will interview you to get to know you closer and what kind of personality you have.
Got it. So when you go through the technical interview, it's very specific. You kind of know what to expect and how to answer. But when it comes to the soft skills kind of interview, what questions do they normally ask to get to know you, and what you should be prepared to answer?
There will be behavioral questions on an interview to get to know you. For example, there will be a question. Last time, one of our students got an interview and he shared with us saying, interviewer asked, let's say we want you to do something and we explain you to that feature that we want you to work on, and you don't understand that. You ask us again, we explain again, but you still don't understand it. How would you try to, how would you handle that scenario? How would you learn about that feature? So in that case, the interviewer wants to hear one answer. That's where the person will say, I will try to handle this by myself. We'll try to Google it and find out the solution. So that case, the interviewer will know what kind of person you are based on your answer. If you will say, I will keep bugging my developers until I will get to know what it is, or I will leave it as it is until someone will explain me that again, or I will just go Google it, right? So in that case, it shows your personality in 3 different ways. One is you are not very responsible because you left it as it is and not taking care of it. Second one, you are very, you don't want to take it as your own responsibility, where you want to ask others questions all the time, keep bugging them until you find out the answer. And third one, showing that you are capable of working independently, individually, by trying to find out the answer by yourself, Googling it, and trying to resolve that. So that way, with this question, they will learn what kind of personality you have.
And then, do you have any tips how to prepare yourself mentally?
So for that, I would say take a lot of mock interviews, which means take your friend or someone whom you study with and interview each other. That way you will, try to attack these fears that you have before going to the real interview, because every time someone is looking at you and asking a question, expecting to answer, you're kind of scared, and another fear that you will have, am I giving the right answer? Is my answer is correct? This gonna be always there, but the only way how you can handle it by taking multiple mock interviews with your friend before going to the real interview. And the second one, you're gonna go to real interview and fail them first 3 or 5 interviews before you will start feeling confident.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that.
Yeah.
So, and then let's say they ask you a question, and then you're not really familiar with this tool or whatever they're talking about. And then, of course, you don't want to answer it like, hey, I don't know. Like, do you have anything specific, like some phrase you can tell that they kind of you can smoothly kind of, get away from saying, I don't know, but still also tell them, hey, like, I don't know, but I want to learn. I can handle it.
That's a good point, because I've seen a lot of people doing a mistake on it, because when the interviewer is asking about some specific thing, an interviewer wants to hear one keyword or 2 keywords that will, satisfy for their answer, their question. But some people trying to go around with that answer without giving the specific answer for that question. Why? Because they don't know about the answer, and they are trying to tell about different things and going around and around. So that way it frustrates the interviewer more. So it's better to be straightforward, saying, I don't know the answer, but I'm glad to learn. Learn it if you guys want me to learn about that topic.
What questions would you ask the interviewer when they give you a chance for that?
That's a good question. So usually it's really good to ask the questions at the end of the interview. So you don't want to leave the interview without asking question. Why? Because if you don't ask question, it shows that you are not interested in that position. The questions you can ask about the environment, the team structure, what kind of technologies they are using, what kind of project they are working on. Do not ask personal questions saying, hey, how I did on an interview. Can you give me feedback? That's a mistake. So they're not gonna give you honest feedback anyway, because they're not allowed to. They will give a feedback to your recruiter or to HR, and then they will make a decision to proceed with you. So,
let's say you had an interview, you said bye-bye to each other, and then after that, what you should do to kind of keep showing them your interest in the role?
So first of all, you always need to either call your recruiter saying, or your HR saying, I have completed my interview went well. The interviewer asked me these questions, and I really liked the team. I really liked the people who interviewed me. And if they will proceed with the job offer, I will definitely accept the offer. Or you can do the same thing by emailing them. But after that, you never call back your recruiter, because if they will proceed with the next round, if they will proceed with the job offer, they will always call you. So it's not good to keep calling them and asking for a feedback after that.
What's the good etiquette when you get rejected? It happens a lot, right?
Yeah.
Let's say, how you should respond for that email? Should you respond for that email at all? You should just close the mic and be like, whatever. The life goes on.
So, in order to avoid these, bad situations, like, heartbreaking situations when you have some rejection from your interview, I say just always forget about this interview after you're done with the interview. Why? Because some people are really kind of, waiting and hoping to get a job offer from that interview, saying, I done my interview, that was a really great interview, and they're waiting for a job offer or next round for a week, 2, 3, and after 2 weeks, they get a email saying they've been rejected. So that case, you disappointed more, because you waited for the next round for the good news. But it's better to forget about the interview. Once you are done with the interview, it's better to forget about it and focusing on other interviews and going and applying for the other.
Do you think that we should respond to that email, to rejection email, or it's okay just to leave it out there?
You can respond it, saying, hey, I was really like this company. I really like the company I was interviewed from. I really like the people who interviewed me. In case the other candidate who was selected will reject the offer, I will be as a backup. I'm open for it, and in that case, they might call you back. If the other candidate will reject the offer, they will call you and they will give you an offer.
So let's say if you want to go through interview faster, right? Like you don't want to wait on them. If you want to, hey, come on, let's go. Keep scheduling me for the next rounds. What can be helpful to make this happen? Should you talk to them about your other relationships with another employers, or it's kind of like also not really?
So sometimes recruiters will ask you if you have any other interviews going on in line. So in that case, it's good to say yes, because if you say no, they will think that you have only one option and they will not, expedite your interview process. If you say yes, I have some other interviews going on, either in initial phases or in the middle phases of the interview. I have second round or first round of those interviews, but it's good to say you have the interview. So they know that if you're a good candidate, they want to expedite the process of the interviews and with the job offer.
Then my final question to all the professionals who are out there looking for a job, applying every day, just a piece of advice, some motivational speech maybe you have for them, just anything, please.
So at some point of time, people start feeling desperate and start giving up on their job market. I would say definitely don't do that, because if you have something better that is waiting for you out there, then, drop it now and go for it. But if you still have your old job, then nothing, like it's better to keep applying and keep going, because even if you will get the job offer after a month, 6 months, or 1 year, it's still worth it. So it doesn't mean that you are bad if you are getting the job offer in 6 months. It actually gives you an experience being on a job market and experience taking the interviews. And that way you become stronger and stronger. And next time when you will be looking for another job, that experience will help you a lot. So some people get a job in 2 weeks and they are so happy, they're so excited, but they never experience this job market process. 2 weeks is nothing. And what happens when they will be looking at job next time, they have a hard time because they never experience they don't have much experience on the job market, because it's another experience that you gotta feel and you gotta know how to talk to recruiters, how to apply, what to do. So I would say keep going, do not give up, be on the market, apply every day, take it as a 9 to 5 job, as your job market, apply and do some part-time job to to survive and to pay your bills, but to keep going. So because once you get a job offer, that feeling is really different. I remember still my first job offer when I got it. I was driving and my recruiter called me, said, Arslan, we want to give you a job offer, with the 100K and blah blah blah. So I was so happy. I was like driving the car, but I was feeling I was flying a plane, So that was giving me really, really, a big motivation, inspiration, that changed my life a lot. So that's gonna happen with everyone, but they need to be persistent. They need to keep going and applying. So don't give up on your job market.
Awesome. That was a great piece of motivation from you. I really appreciate your time. All right. Good luck for everybody who is applying today.